Bartimaeus did not allow his blindness to dismiss himself and consign himself to the peripheries of life as one who had no value. You see, there are people in this world who condemn themselves before even other people condemn them. Once you realize that you have a certain tragedy in your life, you are blind, you are deaf, you start feeling that you are of no value. You are of no value. What am I doing in this life? Everybody else is seeing, everybody else is hearing. Maybe I'm the only one suffering this. And so you start planning in your own life how you are going to take care of this unbearable situation. People who will not remember what I told you a few days ago, that there is nobody in this life who is a biological accident. We all came on this earth by the design of the Creator God, who loves us so much. Hallelujah. We always need to be reminded by something that lives inside of us, that we are of value. It does not matter what has happened to you in this life. Even if you don't have both legs, you are still precious before the sight of God. Amen. Hallelujah. Amen. I don't care what is happening to you. I don't care whether you are jobless. I don't care whether you live your life in a hospital bed and you cannot raise yourself up. People have to come to give you a cup of water and a plate of food. While you are there in that bed, I want you to know that you are still precious. Amen. Hallelujah. Amen. Don't allow anybody, anyone, to devaluate your currency of life. Currencies can be devaluated, but a human being will keep its value up to the end. Even when we will choose to be lost and God is not able to save us because we have refused His salvation, yes, we will be condemned to hell, but I want you to know that God's heart will stay bleeding over His lost children. Hallelujah. Amen. So this man, Bartimaeus, was a man who had a sense of realizing that even though he was blind, he had some value on him. He remembered that he was still the son of Abraham. Hallelujah. And in spite of what his fellow men would wish for a helpless case like him, he always lived his life in the streets of Jericho with the hope and anticipation that one day, hallelujah, one day, and that one day can make a whole difference in your life. You know, people don't need too many days to become something different from what they have been all their life. It takes one day like this to bring about a total revolution in a man's life. You don't need too many sermons. You just have to listen to the appropriate sermon one day. Hallelujah. You know, I'm going to be preaching many sermons in this place during this event. I am just praying that one of those sermons will be the one that will shoot the arrow that will make a difference in your soul. Hallelujah. But Miles lived his life in the streets of Jericho, knowing that one day, he doesn't know the date, and he does not even know when this day will be coming. But he looked forward in his blindness. It looks like he had some light inside of him. You know, there are people who may be physically blind, but actually they have a lot of sight inside. I wish I can have people who are blind physically, but they are able to see from the inside. It's useless for you to have this sight when you do not have the inner sight. So he lived in anticipation. He knew one day something will happen, even though he didn't know what exactly it will be. So the Bible, which we read, said something that I want to go over again with you. You see, this God we worship is a good God. He does not allow the devil to take away all our capacities all at one time. This man, even though he had no sight, he had, he had what? I pray that even if you might be blind, at least you might have your ears. Don't allow the devil to take everything away from you, sir. Madam, please don't allow him to do that. So one day, Bartimaeus was sitting by the roadside begging. It was the only career he could have, begging, because he doesn't see. He had his arms stretched to nobody he knew also. He doesn't see, but he could hear some movement, and he knew people were passing, so he would stretch his hand. Whatever you put in his hand, he will accept it, because what else can he do? And this was his occupation every single day of his life. But this particular day, the Bible said, Jesus and his disciples had visited the city of Jericho, did whatever they were doing there, I don't know what it was, and the time to leave the city had come. And thank God that they happened to leave the city through the street where Bartimaeus used to beg from. Whether it was accidental or it was by design, I don't know. But there are times in this life when God passes through your street. Hallelujah. He passes through the street of your sickness, through the street of your marriage, through the street of your job. Jesus was passing through the street where Bartimaeus used to beg from. Now let me tell you what, Bartimaeus did not arrange for it. There are times when God's favor points to you. Hallelujah. And then he couldn't see, but he was able to hear the commotion, because the Bible said Jesus was not alone. He was with his disciples and a huge crowd. There are many people who used to follow Jesus all the time. People who wanted to hear him teach. People who wanted to see what kind of a person He was for his own personal curiosity. They were not interested in his ministry, but they used to follow him anyway. And so this particular day, there were many people who were following Jesus. And so there was a lot of commotion. And I thank God for commotion. I thank God for commotion. Let me tell you, when it is just all quiet, you may not know what is going on anywhere. Commotion sometimes wakes some people up. There was commotion in the surrounding of Bartimaeus. So he called upon the people who were close by. And he said, "Sirs, what is going on? Because I'm hearing a lot of commotion. I can't see, but I can hear. What is this commotion about?" And one careless man, who did not mean to make any serious point that would help Bartimaeus. But you know, there are people who talk freely. Yeah? He answered Bartimaeus and said, "Bartimaeus, you're always asking questions. And when you ask, you do nothing with the answers you get. But anyway, it is Jesus of Nazareth." Hallelujah. Amen. You people, do you know how to shout? The day you will hear that name mentioned, you better begin to smile. Especially if there is a problem that you know besets you and has not been willing to leave you. The man said, "It is Jesus of Nazareth who is leaving the city." He is not coming in, he is leaving the city. Now listen to me now. There is a difference when he is coming in and when he is leaving. And if you know how to take advantage of an opportunity that is about to slip away from you, you better be aggressive in life. Amen. Hallelujah. Amen. And Bartimaeus asked, "What did you say? Did you say he is leaving?" And the reporter said, "Yes, he is leaving." And immediately, Bartimaeus started shouting. I think Bartimaeus had heard about the story of Jesus, because Jesus was an itinerant preacher. He has been around the villages for a number of days, healing the sick, raising the dead, and doing many other miracles. Bartimaeus must have heard some of the things this man Jesus was doing around. The problem was he could not take himself where Jesus was because he was blind. But today, he did not have to travel. The report has said, Jesus of Nazareth has been in the city, and now he is doing what? Living. He said to himself, "I am not going to let him go before he blesses me." Amen. Hallelujah. Amen. Let me tell you something. Some of you are too shy. Some of you are too shy to take advantage of an opportunity you may never have again. Are you hearing what I'm saying? There are people who will lose this opportunity. My heart is already bleeding for you. So he started shouting. He said, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me." and some guys who were standing there, people who are educated, the professionals, people who don't like noise, people who want to stay in a quiet place. They said, but Miles, you have been a good guy all along, but today something is wrong with you. You are embarrassing the city. Very soon we might run and bring the city council because you are becoming a nuisance. And you know today we have visitors in the city. You are making too much noise. We command you to keep quiet. I know what Bartimaeus thought on that one. He said, you guys, you don't know. I keep quiet today when the man, the only man on this earth who can help me is leaving the city. And I have been with you here all the time, and none of you has helped me in my blindness. Now is the only day I have. Hallelujah. Amen. To be blessed by the only man who is able to do it for me. And you want me to keep quiet? Shame on you with your education. Shame on you with your civilization. The Bible said, he shouted even the more. And he said, Son of David, have mercy on me. I can tell you there are some who even trying to go and put some clothes into his mouth. But Bartimaeus resisted every attempt to silence him.